One of the things that I often do on PFTPM, I take your questions. We're taking your questions right here and right now, Chris Simms. You put the call out last night. I echoed it, and I think we got enough to work with.
Good.
Let's start with all things Giants. If the Vikings make it all the way to the Super Bowl, will Mike promise to dress like Prince? Mike will not dress. Where do you go to find Prince clothes? I live in West Virginia.
Okay.
I'm not going to find clothes that Prince would have worn in West Virginia.
Wait. Are you kidding me with that crap? Are you kidding me with that statement? First of all, there's got to be a Halloween store by. Second of all, there's this new invention called the internet, all right? So nice try.
I've never heard
with
of
that.
it.
Yeah. Nice try with that bull crap statement there. I think it's kind of good.
I'm not
like
familiar
that.
with this thing that I've used to fashion a career that didn't exist 20 years ago.
Exactly. You could go on there and get like a shiny black perm hair and a purple vest with no undershirt and show your chest hairs and your arm muscles and some tight like purple leather pants. I like it. I like where your head's at Giant Things.
Yeah.
I like
Not
that.
happening. Not happening.
All right,
Marvin, that's the end of it. Marvin Blue, what can the Packers do to stay in first place in the NFC North? Also, with Thanksgiving coming up, we're doing the whole. So are we starting already? What's your favorite side dish stuff?
Yeah.
Let's just focus on the Packers.
No,
what do the
what's
Packers
your
have to
favorite
do to
side
stay in
dish,
first
jerk?
place?
What is it? I want to know.
How is it not stuffing? You have stuffing once a year.
Yeah.
It's always stuffing. Isn't that weird? Like, we love the food that we eat on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Well, why don't we make it the rest of the year? It's not like it's ridiculously expensive. It's not like we eat caviar at the holidays. You can have turkey and stuffing anytime you want.
Well,
why do we wait until then?
And once Thanksgiving comes, I do have it, I think, more than just Thanksgiving and Christmas during the winter time. But stuffing is it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm simple on Thanksgiving. Give me turkey, give me mashed potatoes, give me stuffing and some gravy on top, and I'm going to go back for 3 or 4 helpings. That's all I need. I don't even give a crap about all the other stuff. Now,
all right, what do the Packers have to do to stay in first place in the NFC North?
Well, I think we hit it a little bit on the pod we did a few minutes ago when we kind of broke down their offense. It is stay patient with their run game. They have to stay patient with the run game because that's when they're at their best offensively. They don't have the weapons in the pass game to just get in shootouts with teams that way where they can just get in the shotgun and say, oh, Aaron Rodgers, throw it 45 times a game and we'll throw for 480 yards. No, there's not enough talent there. But their O-line is pretty good. Aaron Jones is showing that he's very good. And the other thing that's going to help when they play that aspect, it helps create big plays like we saw last week. But it's going to help their defense, which is, truly, truly struggling. Their defense can't stop the run. They have interior defense problems as far as D tackles, middle linebackers, and that's a big problem for the Green Bay Packers in general. And that's where the offense, I think, has to help out the defense and the team by playing that way.
And here's the thing, even though they've had a special season so far and they're 8-2, the Vikings are right on their heels.
Yes, they are.
And I feel like it's going to come down to the last 2 games for the Packers. At Minnesota, at Detroit. They're going to need to win one of those games, maybe both, to nail down the division title. And it could be that NFC North championship game happens a week early, Week 16, the last Monday night of the season.
How about Sunday Night Football? We got the Packers 49ers now on that. The NFL changed that. That's great. I mean, that gives us the best slate of games for the day now, where we don't have any games competing against each other. I'm excited that got moved.
Yeah, it was going to be 49ers-Packers. At the same time, Cowboys and Patriots are being played. The NFL decided to slide 49ers-Packers to the night spot. And Seattle-Philadelphia begins at 1 p.m. Eastern, so there's a great game in every window. And Seahawks fans have already whined about the fact that their team is playing a game that starts at 10 a.m. local time. Look, they're on a bye this week. They can go to Philadelphia a day early and get acclimated if they need to, so don't complain too much. It's not like it's happening this week after playing 70 minutes of football on a Monday night. All right, PFTPM Posse has a question. Are Dak and Amari not signing new contracts with the Cowboys because they're waiting to see what happens with the head coach and the coaching staff, Chris?
Well, I don't know what your thoughts are there, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think Amari Cooper realizes he's a smart guy. Like, hey, he went through a little lull with the Oakland Raiders. He did get drafted in the top 5. He's making a ton of money this year, right? He's making, over $14 million this year, Mike? So he's not, desperate for cash. Dak Prescott, I think, is just holding out. He's waiting to get a contract where he feels like it takes advantage or shows his true worth to the team. But I don't think the head coaching and coaching staff has anything to do with it with these two. What do you think?
I agree with you completely. This is about what value these guys have, and they're letting it play out. Remember, back early in the offseason, we said there's wisdom in these two guys agreeing they're not going to do anything because next year there's only one franchise tag available to be used on Dak Prescott. Now, a transition tag would be available if they don't do a new CBA because it's the last year of the current deal and teams have one franchise tag and one transition tag available in the last year of the CBA. But transition tag's meaningless. It just gives you a right to match. It gives you no compensation. I think they have to worry about Amari Cooper leaving on the open market or via the transition tag. And with Dak Prescott, this is all about getting his value. It's not about who the next coach is going to be or if there is going to be a new coach. This is about getting his value. And we are careening toward an offseason that will be very interesting because his value is going to be set by the franchise tag. And they're going to use either the non-exclusive tag at $26 million or so for 2020 or the exclusive tag, which prevents any team from signing him to an offer sheet. That's going to be about $33 million for 1 year. And here's the other thing to watch, Chris. Keep an eye on this. When Kirk Cousins got tagged by Washington, he was there for everything in the offseason, training camp, preseason. He's good to go. Le'Veon Bell did the other thing in 2017. He didn't show up until it was time for the season to start. I think if Dak Prescott gets franchise tagged, the Cowboys need to worry about him not showing up. And if they do make a coaching change, good luck getting your new offense in place if your starting quarterback is not showing up because he's been franchise tagged and he's refused to sign it. So keep an eye on that. But I think it's all about the value of the players. It has nothing to do with waiting to see who the coach is going to be. All right, K-Tom24, of the teams currently on the bubble, who is most likely to sneak into the playoffs?
Well, I go with the Philadelphia Eagles right off the bat. I mean, that's just the team that jumps out to me. The other one, I'll throw out there is the Oakland Raiders. I just look at them. They don't have a daunting schedule down the stretch. They can run the ball, control the clock that way. I think John Gruden's doing a really, really good job. Those, I think, are the two teams that jump out to me more than the rest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the Steelers I believe in, and even though they're with their backup quarterback, Mason Rudolph, he was praised by the coaching staff for his performance against the Rams, and he's moving in the right direction. And there's just something about that Steelers team. They have stumbled into this vibe, this kind of special feeling. I saw it with them in 1989 when they were blown out the first 2 games of the year and left for dead. They made it to the final 8 that year. I think this team can continue to achieve. And the Eagles, I mean, They're not on the bubble. They're on the inside. I mean, yes, they technically are behind the Cowboys because the Cowboys won the game the two teams played a few weeks ago in Texas. But they're both 5-4, and the Eagles, I think, have a favorable schedule in comparison to the Cowboys down the stretch. I don't think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs.
It's scary.
I mean, that Sunday night game, as we kind of digest what happened to the Cowboys on Sunday night, I think they're not going to make the playoffs, and I think Jason Garrett's going to be out of a job.
It doesn't look good right now. And the Colts with Jacoby Brissett, we got to mention them too. They're still going to be a force in the AFC in that conversation.
I think the Jaguars are the team to watch, not because you and I both picked them to win the division, but they're getting Nick Foles back. They're 4-5. It feels like they're worse than 4-5. They are right there in striking distance to make a run at the top of the division. The problem is they've been swept by the Texans, and they're 2 games behind the Texans.
Yeah, you're right. That's going to be the AFC South with all of them playing each other and everything there. There's still a lot of work to be done, and you're right. That could shuffle out a lot of different ways.
All right, here's one for Chris from @the Newman. Chris, do you feel that sometimes you weren't considered for employment solely based on the fact that you're left-handed? Do offenses switch personnel of the line to adjust to the blind side for lefties? What do you got?
No, I think the times I wasn't considered for employment was just at the point in my career where people didn't think I was good enough. It had nothing to do with me being lefty or righty. Now, when I got to teams and did have to play, whether it was John Gruden or when I went to the Tennessee Titans or Josh McDaniels to the Denver Broncos, I think there was some times where they were like, oh, wait, I can't call that play this way for you. You're lefty. Let me rejuggle it in my head. And did they look at me like, oh, you pain in the ass lefty, you? Yes, but at the end of the day, I don't think it was a difference maker that way.
And look, I like to bust your chops from time to time, but I give you credit for going through everything you went through with the spleen and the issues and the adjustment and just how long it took to fully recover from that and the fight there and to keep it would have been easy to say, screw it, I've made my money, I'm getting out of here. But you kept with it for several more years, even though it had to be frustrating to have to completely relearn how to throw a football and relearn how to play quarterback.
Yeah, it was a daily struggle. I woke up stressed every day for about 2 years, like, is this the day I'm going to feel normal? Is this the day I can throw a spiral again? Is this the day I can put some RPMs on the ball and some mile per hours on the ball? So it was very annoying, but, hey, it all worked out. I've been very blessed in my life in a lot of different ways, and I knew the price of, battle on the football field. I knew that Ray Lewis and Julius Peppers crushing me wasn't good for my health, and that's just the price of doing business. But I love the game, and I wasn't going to just quit just because of the injury.
Would you do it again, knowing what you know now?
Definitely, I would. No doubt about it. Nothing that can replace it. Man, running out on the field on a Sunday, running out in the field to start a playoff game, there's nothing that can compare to the adrenaline, the feeling, the fear, the emotions, the camaraderie with your team. It is very special feelings. And those are the things, I miss most about it, or missed the most about it, especially my first few years out of the league.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.